Did you know that the Missouri Botanical Gardens has a history of enslavement? Well, if you didn't know, let me tell you. The Missouri Botanical Gardens was owned by Henry Shaw. Shaw originally lived in Sheffield, England, and arrived at St. Louis, Missouri in 1819. He would eventually buy out 1,000 acres of land to become what we know now as Tower Grove. Slavery came to the St. Louis area in the early 1700s. Henry Shaw unfortunately contributed to slavery by purchasing enslaved individuals who helped cultivate the Missouri Botanical Garden, which is not often brought up when discussing Shaw's legacy. Shaw purchased his first individual, Peach, in 1828, and he continued to purchase other individuals to help construct the gardens as we know it today. He would eventually open the garden to the public in 1859, which is still a place many people continue to enjoy and visit. We are partnering with the Missouri Botanical Gardens to help educate and interpret the stories of the enslaved individuals and to bring forth knowledge about the history of enslavement at the Missouri Botanical Gardens. My subgroup held a focus group interview with the faculty members from various departments within the Missouri Botanical Gardens, where we asked, when it comes to educating the public about Shaw's participation in enslavement, is there anything inhibiting the action of implementing educational courses about his history? Matthew Marcia responded with the lack of knowledge that he has about the individuals. Matthew Marcia mentions what inhibits him from implementing programs. He wants to be able to know their story in its entirety and honor them as humans, so he doesn't silence certain stories or inadvertently not inform others of essential knowledge, which is appreciated. Sean Doherty poses the question, what are some other ways we can potentially integrate into other content areas beyond science? In the early 90s, nothing was said about Shaw except he was a hero. It's essential we don't cancel out that Shaw did some things important to the St. Louis region, and was not just a slave owner. There are many factors that play into these educational programs that must be prompt and clear. Many individuals are often afraid to talk about deeply rooted history, but the facts are facts. Real-life events occurred with the Missouri Botanical Gardens, and we can't negate that. There are pros and cons that they must recognize, Doherty emphasizes. These responses showed us how important it is for us to share this history with the public and commemorate the lives of these enslaved individuals. Another question was, for individuals who want to learn more about the history of enslavement in the gardens, how can we make that knowledge more accessible? Morgan Malsmith emphasizes the importance of harnessing our digital platforms to make information accessible and engaging. She highlights the limitations of traditional methods like signage due to restrictions such as text space and processing time. Malsmith talks about finding ways to have accessible web portals to tell the garden stories. Videos or access to research papers for a deeper understanding. The goal is to pique interest and gradually provide more in-depth content to avoid overwhelming individuals. Another response was Sean Doherty talking about how the information on the website doesn't feel very accessible. We have gone through the website ourselves, and it does take a few clicks to get to the core information about the gardens and slavery. From conducting interviews, it seems to be a unanimous agreement that the website at the moment isn't the best resource to go to for that information. And we think that it's important to make sure that the information is easily accessible and engaging. So as Sean Doherty says, it's about being able to make it accessible, making it dynamic, making sure that it's integrated within our other exhibits. We have been trying to find solutions to combat the issue with the public's lack of knowledge about slavery in the gardens by implementing educational programs that will inform all age groups of necessary knowledge. Matthew Marcia mentioned that visitors come into the gardens to see the beauty of this place. We need to understand how it got there and recognize that there were individuals who had no choice but to be there. We hope to unsilence the voices that have been silenced. Thank you.